What's up, y'all? It's Kyla with 3 eyes, coming back to y'all with another video. All right, so the name of today's video is going to be You Are Not Your Mind, okay? My last video, I was saying how this year we're going to get the fuck out of our own way, okay? And I feel like a lot of the ways that we are in our own way is through like self-imposing thoughts. Is that the right word? Like self-imposed thoughts. Thoughts of self-doubt. Whatever the case may be. So I think it's really important to know that you're not your mind. Because if we're getting out of our own way, we need to get a little bit more familiar with how our mind is working in the first place. Okay? So my whole page, I want it to be about mind, body, and soul. And how to tap into those things. How to learn those things. So that we can navigate ourselves different in life, okay? We were all born with a brain, but I don't think we're all aware of like how the brain really works, okay? And like I said, you're not your mind. You're more like an observer of your mind, okay? So to help me kind of get my message across, I got this book called Mind Hacking, and I'm gonna get straight into it. Y'all, I've recorded this probably like my 15th take. Okay, so let's get straight into it. And then we're going to digest what we read after the fact, okay? You are not your mind. This is the message I want to shout from the rooftops. You are not your mind. Close your eyes and think about your own mind for just a moment. The fact that you can observe your mind and think about it objectively shows that there is a mind, and then there's an observer of the mind, and we'll call that you. In other words, you can separate your mind, which you have just pictured, with you, the one who's pictured it. Got it? You probably got it. But this idea is so fundamental to mind hacking and yet so foreign to our everyday experience that I will illustrate it via several different analogies. These analogies will serve as handy tools for peeling away you from your mind, which a mind hacker must be able to do at will. Okay, if you're a movie geek like me, perhaps you've had the experience of deconstructing a movie as you're watching it. It's the opening credits of The Lord of the Rings, and you're watching the title sequence, analyzing the music. Now comes the first scene, and you're evaluating the actors, admiring the cinematography, imagining the director orchestrating the action, and then, if it's a good movie, you quickly get lost in it, losing your perspective. You forget to analyze the movie because you're in it. Your mind is like that movie. Just as in the movie theater, there is you watching a movie, in your own head, there is you watching your mind. And like a great piece of cinema, you are absorbed in the movie of your mind. The thoughts, the emotions, memories served up in a constant stream. But the mind is no ordinary movie. It's a 3D IMAX, Oculus Rift, full-on, Sense Surround, THX, epic beamed directly into your head. And it's been playing since birth. So it's no wonder that we're so accustomed to watching it. It's a lifetime habit. No one ever told us, hey, you're watching a movie. Instead, they told us, hey, this is reality. I sometimes picture a virtual reality mask that you pull on with the headphones and goggles, but also with electrodes that tape to your forehead, beaming thoughts and emotions directly into your brain. After 20, 30, 40 years of living that way, how would you remember you're in a simulation? And this is why it's so difficult for us to pull ourselves out of the movie for very long. If you think it's tough to run out of the movie theater to take a bathroom break, just try stopping the mind movie. In fact, just try being aware that you're watching a mind movie. Yet, being aware of this mind movie is the first step to mind hacking, we must learn to analyze the mind with all its amazing cinematography before we hack it. Okay, so, like I said, I really like how he words everything in this book, y'all. Like, what? So, yeah. So, this is the part where I overthink myself and I start talking too much because I get so excited and my brain wants to give you guys all these metaphors, but the whole point of my page is not to necessarily teach, but also still speak in a way where I can get people to kind of go on this journey, even if they don't think about life. Like people be like, oh, we live in a simulation, oh, we live in a matrix, but I feel like people don't really break down what that means. Like, these are just words. So I kind of also want to talk in a way where people can kind of understand what's being said, because it is hard to understand. Like, how am I living in a simulation? What? There's nothing about me to simulate it. Okay, one, we would not be able to make half the gadgets and devices and movies that we make if we were not recreating ourselves, okay? If you pay close attention to this picture right here, he has a brain and he has a computer. It's like a brain and computer. And, y'all, when I start doing, like, research on the brain and just research on us, y'all, we sound like a computer. And again, all the devices and stuff that we have, the TVs, the GPSs, that all mimics the human body. It's freaking amazing, actually. And so I think it's very important to get more, for us to have more knowledge about how our brain works. Because again, we have it. And we think that's because we have it, we know it because it's ours. Like, no, not really. We don't know that your mind is not yours. Your mind is a projection, in a way, of all the information and stuff that you've been gathering since you were born, like he said, okay? And so there are moments when your brain, your mind will project certain images back to you. Blase, blase, blase. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so my last video, I don't know if I told y'all, but y'all, I probably recorded this 15 times because, I don't know, something's wrong with me. Anyway, I just want to make sure I deliver, like, okay, perfectionism. I have it bad, but I'm trying. So, my last video, I was talking about how we got to get out of our own way. And so this video, I'm saying that the next step is to sit down with yourself and realize that you are not your mind. So, he was saying how maybe it would be easier if people woke up in the morning and put on, like, some simulation glasses, okay? You got to understand, when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, you are in the simulation, okay? I would think that people that like video games would really, like, understand this concept more because life is a video game. But again, like, when you wake up, the video game has begun. Just think of it like that. Okay? I think it's easier to, like, look at video games and stuff, like, separate from us because, like, okay, you have to press the power button. And then you have to tell the controller to go this way or tell the person to go this. Like, you get to see yourself control it. But it's the same thing happening to you. It's just happening in your brain. So some of us have gotten so good at navigating. Oh, I get up in the morning. I walk to go make coffee. I turn left. I turn right. I eat food. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still a video game. You're just you are the main character. And it's funny because people have been throwing out these certain words like main character. That's like, a lot of the girls love calling themselves the main character, but it's like, I think it's so funny because, like I said, when you really sit back and research things and realize this is a simulation, we are all the main character. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we are all the main character. Some of us are more awake to the fact that we're being in a simulation, and some of us aren't, you know? But that's not the point. Well, that's not the point yet. So, to follow up from my last video, because I want all the videos on my page to kind of be around mind, body, and soul. I feel like if we're tapping into those three things and we're getting better at understanding those three things and mastering those three things, then you can live a more fulfilled life, okay? We're kind of getting out of the way that the Matrix has taught you to think, okay? The Matrix, like he said, when you watch there's a scene in the Matrix when he says, like, they want to reduce us down to a battery. Like I said, y'all, I plan on really getting down to the nitty gritty on this page. Like, we all have a electromagnetic field around us, okay? That's why when you can get around somebody, you can actually feel their energy. So when people say things like, yes, they are using our bodies as batteries, think about it. These machines aren't operating themselves right now. I mean, it's kind of with AI getting advanced. Y'all get what I'm saying? That crane outside has to be operated by what? A human being. We have to actually use our own. This is dope, okay? Because we got circuits. You know, your brain is cut into different circuits. And then we're dope as hell, bro. We're dope. And I feel like we be sleeping on the human experience, man. We really do. So anyway, we're getting out of our own way. We're realizing, okay, I'm not my mind. I am observing my mind. Like today, you know what? My mind, okay, I want to record a YouTube video, right? I could have had a thought tell me, record a YouTube video? What are you talking about? Now, if I could have, you can do one or two things. One, when you get to the point where you realize that thought is just a thought, that was all it was. You did not have to take anything extra from that thought. You didn't have to run with it. Because you can. A thought can come to our brains, and sometimes we can decide to keep it. And then when you tell your brain, okay, this is the thought I'm writing with, your brain's job is to amplify whatever you give it. Okay? When you want to be sad, if you say, okay, I'm deciding to keep this sad thought, your brain is going to keep bringing you sad thoughts, bitch. So, just because you have a mind and your mind brings thoughts to the front of your brain, you are not your mind. Just like a computer browser, you need to tell yourself, click the fuck out of that thought, bitch. And it might take practice depending on if it's a repetitive thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, if you've been doing something for 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to take, you have to realize that it is just a thought. Again, when I decided to make a YouTube video today, right? Now, let's say in the past, I had people telling me, girl, you can't do this, you can't do that, but that was years ago. These people are not in front of my face. When I have this thought, the things that those people told me, they might come back to the front of my brain. But at this point, that's what we call an illusion. Because it did happen before, it's just not happening now. And so I gotta sit and be like, you know what? Like, you kind of gotta sit with that. Because those are the type of things that hold people back. Like, yeah, years ago somebody told me, and it sounds real because it happened to you at one point in time. It's not happening to you now, though. You get what I'm saying? So you can overly identify with something that's happened in the past. It's an illusion. That person's it's not happening now. So now you have this thought. Because also what probably happened is when somebody told you that, it gave you a feeling. It hurt your feelings. So now this movie that we're living in, it feels real because not only were they words, the words made you feel some type of way. You get what I'm saying? So now you're like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Now you're like not personalizing. You're I can't think of the word. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like you're internalizing now something that was said to you. Okay? And that's kind of the game of life. Like your whole life you wanted to do something. And that's why people say, I don't care if everyone told you that you couldn't do it. Like words, I was going to go and say words aren't real, and they're not. They're really not. That's why they say words are spells. Because why, when you wake up in the morning, you feel the confidence to do something, and then one person, they not holding you back like, girl, no, you can't go. They just said something. And those words have now did something to you to hold you back from fulfilling what you want to. Y'all, that's deep. And I'm not sure if I'm delivering my message right, but a lot of us are, your mind is just full of everything. It's full of the good thoughts, the bad thoughts, the self-imposed thoughts, the encouraging thoughts. You just got to get in the practice of being like, oh, not a thought I want, not a thought I want, not a thought I want. And the reason why you think that, like, it could be easy to think like these thoughts are coming to my brain, maybe trying to tell me that I can't do it. No, that's just how your mind works. Your mind has just been receiving all the information from when you were born. The good shit, the bad shit, is doing all of that shit. It's taking in everything. It's up to you to decide which thoughts you want to amplify and listen to. It's hard sometimes when you might come from a family and everybody's pessimistic. You might overly identify with that because that's what the repetition is. Well, everybody in my family said, and everybody in my family did. That does not mean. It's just repetition. That's all it is. It's all it is. And we're just now all kind of slowly getting into realizing what the matrix is and what a simulation is. And again, it's one thing to say those words, and it's another thing to really realize, because it's hard to realize that we're in it when you are in it. It's hard. So like he said in his book, if you gotta put on some fucking glasses and tell yourself, these are my simulation glasses, really your eyeballs are your simulation glasses. But since we are born inside the simulation, it's hard to think, since we're not going and plugging ourselves up into a wall, when we go to sleep, that's how we recharge ourselves. Y'all, do y'all understand how dope as human beings we are? Everything that we expect from these technologies started with us. You can hack a computer, you can hack a person. You can download thoughts, you can download thoughts. You need to charge up, you can charge up. Even even the stuff that we ask ChatGPT, sometimes we really just need to sit with ourselves a little longer. Your brain will be telling you things that you didn't even know that you knew. I mean, nowadays with technology, we don't even give our brains enough time to show us. We don't even give our brains enough time to show us that we know a lot without even asking the phone. Seriously. like I said, I'm getting really fascinated with the human brain. But anyway, this video is getting long. Once again, this is like my 10th, 12th video today, so I want to wrap this up. I hope I'm saying things that help, make sense. So, my last video, we're getting out of our own way. This video, the first step to getting out of your own way is to realize that most of the time, if you're not doing something in life that you want to do, it is probably coming from a thought or just bad repetition. So, my family never, whatever. I don't know. My family never used bleach before, so I never use. I can't think of anything. When I'm under pressure, sometimes I think of the dumbest metaphors, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people just repeat because they think that, look, if everybody's been born into the Matrix and everybody just listening to the last generation, who actually stopped and said, wait, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Should we be doing this? Everybody's mindset is to come out the womb and listen to whatever their family told them to do. You get what I'm saying? And if that's always been the case, which, I understand the previous generations, they told them to obey. You know what I'm saying? Obey. A lot of them were living in a way they thought they were supposed to. But now, as time continues to progress, we're realizing this is a simulation. Of course, the information that they gave a lot of us coming out the womb works for them in the system. It might not work for you as a person. So then it's like, okay, it's also hard to tap into what you should do as a person if the whole Matrix's point is to get you to feed their system. So that's why it's important to sit with yourself. You have to sit with yourself. You got to learn your brain. Okay? You got to sit with yourself. What do you like? What does your brain be trying to tell you to do? Your spirit, your soul. That's why I said mind, body, and soul. You could have a job as a fucking accountant, but that's just paying the bills. I made a video on my TikTok today where I was saying, do not overly identify with your job description. Just because in this matrix that we live in, we have to pay the bills. Sometimes we get a job to pay the bill. That does not mean that's who you are as a person. And so that's why there's this disconnect. Because, okay, like, I'm over here doing this to pay the bills, but really my spirit, my soul, my everything else is trying to shift me towards something else. And I'm not going to say everybody something else is a creative thing, but we are sitting here to create. Everything that you look at around you was created by a human being. And I think that that is so beautiful. So I also want people to realize that we are supposed to be troubleshooting our brain. We're supposed to be having trial and error. We did not get this far in civilization by being stupid human beings, okay? We are very intelligent. We are very, very, very. So like I said, one thing I've realized about the mind, though, is it's not trying to hold you back. It's, the mind is here to help you survive. And like I said, it's taking in everything that you've seen and observed from birth. And sometimes it might regurgitate things back to you that you don't need to listen to. One of the biggest things is fear. Something happens to us, and you kind of have to realize, like, the brain that you have when you're 7 is completely different from the brain that you have when you're 17. And the brain that you have when you're 17 is not the same brain that you have when you're 27. So you kind of sometimes have to sit back and, like, reassess the way that you think about everything as you get older. You cannot be looking at life the same way that you did when you were 7 as a 27-year-old, because like a computer, you got to kind of upgrade the way that you think. I'm going to make a lot of computer metaphors because y'all, the correlation is that fucking close to where I'm like, bro, we're just advanced computers in a simulation. When you wake up in the morning, your eyes means the video game has begun. Okay? And I'm at the point now in my video gameness to where I try to tell people I listen to my spiritual side more than anything. But I know how to listen to my brain too. It just depends. And I also know how to upgrade my brain. So like I said, a lot of times, when you think of certain things, you might go back to what you're comfortable with, what you know, what your family knows. So when they say freaking knowledge is power, it is. Because if nobody in your family ever changed the way that they thought about money or changed the way they thought about anything, that's how powerful the mind is. That as soon as you shift the way you think about it, it's like it opens up another fucking arena of life. It's crazy. It's like, you ever seen one of them movies where there's like a portal right there in your face? But it's kind of like, I want to say like, the way that you actually open that portal in real life, because we can talk about movies. That's like he did in this book. Movies are so deep, and I'm getting myself off track. But anyway, I feel like information is just like opening a portal to your mind. You might be walking past this portal door every day, but then as soon as you read this book that showed you how to identify seeing a portal. So now you're like, oh damn. That's probably not the best metaphor, but yes, like, information helps unlock things in your brain. And then once you unlock things in your brain, you can advance yourself in life. So knowledge is power, okay? You are not your mind. Sometimes your mind is just regurgitating what you're comfortable with, and as far as information as you've allowed it to understand, okay? You only learned about certain things that's the only information that your brain can give back to you. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm talking a lot. Okay, this video, I was like, I'm only going to make it like 5 minutes, but I'm really hoping that I'm speaking in a way that people can understand. Y'all, I've recorded this I've been sitting here for over 2 hours trying to, record this in a way that people understand, because I'm really passionate about people living fulfilling lives, and I'm really, it's not that simple, but it is. Okay, so I just want people to get out of their own way. I want you to learn yourself. I want you to sit with your brain. I want you to sit back and realize, like, sometimes when you're telling yourself that you can't do something, all it was a thought. All it was a thought. It's an illusion. You get a lot of thoughts. And then when you slowly start training yourself, like, man, that's just a thought. Man, I'm about to do it anyway. Eventually, those thoughts will stop coming to you because you've shown yourself that you're stronger than an illusion. That makes sense? So anyway, I'm going to end this here so I don't make this video too long. So, like I said, this year, we're getting out of our own way. And I would say the first step to getting out of your own way is getting more acquainted with your mind, getting all them self-imposed thoughts and doubts about whatever you want to do out your brain, and just do it. Like with me being the overthink that I am, sometimes the one thing that I'm just sitting there overly thinking about, just do it, and it does something to you. Whatever, like, you be building yourself up in your head, like, oh, it's I can't do it because this, and that. But then once you do it, it's like, oh. And then you'll realize how much your brain can actually play tricks on you. But don't be mad at your brain. It just needs a little tuning, okay? It just needs a little tuning, and sometimes you gotta kind of reprogram. Okay, your brain is nothing but repeating what it knows, what you've been giving it. So sometimes you gotta kind of just reprogram yourself. So anyway, y'all check out this book. I will be referring to it in a few of my videos because, like I said, he did a great job at articulating himself. How to change your mind for good in 21 days, overcome addictions, fix your relationships, conquer fear, improve your career, find happiness. If you invest into drinking liquor and smoking weed and shit, you can invest into a book to change your life, okay? Like I said, if the whole world is existing in your brain, you need to take it upon yourself to give your brain the information that it needs. Once you give your brain information, it will regurgitate it back to you when you need it. And like I said, we're playing a video game. So when that information gets regurgitated to your brain, it's up to you whether you apply it or not. You can't see no changes if you don't apply it. Okay? Just like that video game. When you master a level by learning what obstacles to avoid, you get to go to the next level. All right? Y'all have a good night. I think I finally found a video I'm going to upload. Stay tuned for my next video. Comment, subscribe if you like this type of, talk. And yeah, I see you later.